Good morning, folks. I was all ready to move and half, and then Ruthie came up and she's eyeing my lap, which, you know, the cats are always in charge, right? I think she's not going to sit in my lap. I think you're safe. I think we'll still have class. Welcome. Scott and I are happy to be here today, and we are heading out for Colorado not long after this class here. And I know what you're thinking. What about the cats? I know that's what you're thinking. The cats are coming with us. They have like first class travel pods that are ridiculous, like plushy cat beds that they go in. And then they get in the car and they just like hang out after maybe a little bit of throwing up. But we don't focus on that. And then they hang out with us. They're going to come to Colorado with us. So we're really excited. We're going to go up into the mountains, into Crestone. And if you've taken this class for a while, you might remember a year ago, maybe last August, we did some classes from there. That's going to happen again. So we're going to be on that beautiful deck with sun and mountains behind us. So for the next 2 Saturdays, you'll see that, which is, I don't know, kind of exciting. It's really pretty when we do that. But here we are. Let's be in the present moment. We are going to do some class today. So, yeah, let's move around a little. Let's start on your back. Knees bent, feet flat. And just a little sense of your weight on the floor. Take your breath however you like. If you like a big full breath, if you like just kind of a soft, easy breath. Each time you exhale, imagine settling into your body just a little more. And let's start with a few knee folds. So, pelvis is grounded, little bit of tone in your lower abdominals, and then hold the pelvis steady as your right leg comes in and as it comes back down. And the left leg comes in and exhale, back down. Alternating that movement. Inhale the leg up and exhaling down. The main focus is the foundation. We start with the foundation, which is your pelvis. That's the foundation of the hip socket if we're thinking about this exercise. Want to keep the foundation really steady. And once we have that, then the lever moves easily, which is the thigh bone. So find your belly, steady your pelvis, and then you don't need so much effort in the thigh. Just kind of float it up and down. Finish up this set. Next time the left leg goes down, you leave it there and take a couple breaths again. Take your hands, place them on the lower part of the ribs, and then slide them out just a little bit. So the heel of your hand is more towards the side of your rib cage, and your fingers are kind of towards the side too, right? They're not overlapping each other. They're kind of spread apart here. And let's take a little rib cage breathing. So inhaling wide through the ribs, and then exhale. Ribs draw towards each other. Low ribs moving towards each other. And as you inhale, all that spreads out again. As you exhale this time, see if you can feel like the upper abdominal muscles are coming on at the end of the exhale. And they're drawing your lower ribs towards each other just a bit. Right side, left side, get knitted together, get tied together just a little. Float your arms up to the ceiling, hands in line with your shoulders. Same wide inhale. And then that same feeling, draw the ribs together, tie them together just a little bit, and leave them there as you reach your arms overhead. So now the foundation is my lower ribs. I'm going to leave that really steady. The lever is my arms, my shoulder joint. Bring the arms back up to the ceiling. Take the whole thing again. Inhale, wide ribs. Exhale, create the foundation, and then keep it really steady as your long arm lever reaches away. The more the arm reaches away, the harder it should be in the ribs, right? It's having to counter more weight the farther my arm goes back. Putting my hands on the floor actually doesn't give me that feeling of strength, because then the floor's holding my arms, right? So it's not necessarily desirable to get your arms all the way to the floor. It's not so much a flexibility exercise or a range of motion exercise. It's about really holding in the upper abdominals against the weight of the arm reaching back. One more of these. You might check in with your lower abdominals too. Sometimes the hips start grabbing just to kind of help out. So check in there. This time we're going to leave your arms back there, bend your elbows, and take your hands behind your head. Now, same thing. A lot of times we go, oh, wide elbows is the best way to be. It feels like such a nice stretch, and that's going to be so good. But it doesn't actually ask my upper abdominals to work at all. It actually kind of pulls my head a little forward and creates a little bit of tension in my upper back. So all the time, we talk about elbows off the floor, about 6-8 inches off the floor, actually bringing them forward. Now, if I take them all the way up to the ceiling, that's not quite it. That's not quite what I'm going for. I do want them out about halfway. And then the goal is to hold the elbows there by drawing the ribs together. And can you feel how your head can be a little heavier when your elbows are up? You can really let the head drop and the shoulder blades get wide. That's what we're going for. Keep all that relationship as you bring your head up. Elbows remain a little forward of your shoulder in your peripheral vision. Second exhale, lower abdominals, ribs, grounded pelvis, and the weight of your head stays heavy in your hands as you roll back down. Elbows stay up. And we take that a few times. Exhale, ribs engage, float the head up, keep the pelvis grounded. Take a second breath, do all of that a little more. Ribs, low belly, head floats just a little higher up, and back down. And two more. Inhale, exhale. Ruthie's going to remind me to keep my ribs in, keep my belly in. I'm going to take my head up just a little closer to her nose and all the way back down. Last one. This is a less attractive view of Ruthie here. But for a cat, she's letting me sniff her butt. It's not really the greatest thing for me, but for a cat, it's quite friendly. Taking your head down, take a couple breaths here. Okay, are you ready for the 100? So I'm going to start with my arms up to the ceiling. You might start with one hand behind your head and do one arm at a time if that works better for you in the 100. We're going to take that same movement we just did, wide shoulder blades. Exhale, sink the lower ribs, sink the pelvis, knee fold. One leg up, other leg up. Here we go. Inhale, exhale. Breathing in and exhale. And inhaling. Exhale, sink the ribs a little more, soften the chest. And heavy pelvis. If you've got one hand behind your head, switch to the opposite hand for the next half. Inhaling. Long exhale. Breathing in. Feel the weight of the cat on your belly, dropping your belly a little further. Last one. And lower everything down. Do you think Ruthie's excited to go to Colorado? She's like, let's get in the car. Let's do it. I'm ready to go. Okay, find a way up to sitting. And taking your left leg straight out, your right knee bent. And sometimes I like to put my right foot, like the arch of my foot right into my calf muscle. It's like nature wants me to do that because it made the arch of my foot and my calf muscle fit so nicely together. I don't know, things like that just are always really nice to me for some reason. And then, but that's about where I have my foot, is right in line with the calf there. And then curl your hips under just a little so you're kind of rolled back. Hands hold the back of your leg. We haven't done this one in a while, I don't think. Ribs in, belly in, nice open upper back. Now, even though my foot's on the floor, I'm going to add just a little sense of pushing down like I could push through the floor. I want to think of my hamstring being the muscle that will do that, that will push into my hands. And so as I start to roll back, my foot's going to come off the floor, but my hamstring is resisting that. It keeps pushing forward. That creates sort of a lock. So my elbows don't get more straight or more bent. They keep their shape the whole time until I'm all the way down. And then I can let that go. Breathing in, find the rib connection. Open the upper back, bring the head up. Here's where I create the lock. Push your leg, but also pull with your arms and feel that connect into your ribs. Now your foot, the arch of your foot, wants to line up with your calf muscle again. So that's its trajectory, and it's trying to find that. And then because it wants to get there, you roll up. You don't pull yourself up. You take your foot down and you hold your stability, and then you'll come up. Hopefully, best of circumstances, you'll come up. But that's the goal we'll get to. Keep pressing the foot forward as you roll back, either halfway down or all the way down. And then coming up, inhale, exhale, chest, ribs, arms, keep the lock. Leg pushes you forward, foot finds its little puzzle piece next to the calf. One more time. And inhale to start. Exhale. And then we switch the legs. Right leg forward. Left foot finds its little arch of the foot calf muscle puzzle. I do like puzzles. Maybe that's why I like that. Float the pelvis under. Reach around, grab the back of your left thigh. A little tip backwards, belly in, ribs together, back open. Now, before you go anywhere, see if you can feel The left foot pushing towards the floor, the hamstring coming on right where your hands are, pushing into your hands. Arms are working. My biceps are on. They're working too. So I can really hold the shape in the arms. And maybe you already know this, but you can also just go halfway down and come back up. Do that if that's a better fit for you, if that lets you stay in control and a little more aware of things. Coming up with the inhale, exhale, belly ribs, press, foot finds the floor, finds your calf. Arms keep working. 2 more. Inhale to start back. And exhale down. And after you come up this time, staying here. Okay, let's roll back to your back. We'll bring your right leg in, holding the back of your thigh, and up and down. Stretch your leg, bend your knee. Inhale, reach up, and exhale down. Now, I find when I do this exercise after the last exercise we did, I have some awareness of my hamstring that's a little different than just like the stretching awareness, but like that little bit of working awareness. So, what's it like if you imagined your hamstring not just like stretching at the top, but like all the fibers spread out and then they just kind of draw in towards each other? That the hamstring is moving the whole time. It's not like in a position, out of a position, but like slowly things lengthen and spread apart. And then slowly they just easily draw back together. And you just find that range where it feels like things keep moving. When they get really stuck, you just stop. You don't have to push it farther. Just go to that place where it feels like, yep, that's about it. And then they draw back together. What's that image like? And the next time the leg comes up, we're going to leave it there. That nice open, spread apart hamstring fibers. Now back to the belly. Pelvis grounded, ribs together. There's our foundation. And then again, your leg is the lever circling around. Inhale and exhale. And then in reverse, inhale and exhale. Pelvis staying still. Exhale, feel the ribs, feel the belly. One more. And then relax the leg all the way down. Relax everything for a moment. And then the left leg coming in. So, taking a moment with the knee bent, what do you notice in your hamstring? Maybe it's just that you feel your hand touching it. That's fine. And then as the leg floats up, imagine it spreads the whole time. It gets a little longer the whole way. And then it just softly comes back together. So like a TheraBand, how it extends the whole way. A rubber band does that. Or maybe you think really into like kind of fibers, how fibers can spread apart, get longer, and then they just cross back into each other. Like your frosted mini wheats got kind of soggy and they started just like spreading apart, or they're nice and crunchy before they hit the milk, coming back together. Does anybody eat frosted mini wheats anymore? Is that a thing? And next time the leg's up, leave it there. Nice long, open hamstring. It's a little soggy maybe. We'll hit that milk. Got a little soggy. Pelvis, belly, ribs. Start your circle over to the right, around and up. Inhale across, exhale. Take it in reverse. And then resting it all the way down and relax everything. And both knees into your chest. Come up to sitting. Okay, so hopefully maybe the hamstrings are a little juicy. I know for some people, your hamstrings always feel relaxed. Mine are kind of like that. They often feel really loose. Other people, they might feel tight all the time. Obviously, law of averages, it's in between for some people too. So, figure out where they are. Let them just be a little soft. Maybe your knees are bent to do that. Maybe they're straight. Maybe you sit up on a blanket. Just kind of give them a little sense of like, oh, just a little softer. A little softer if yours tend to be really tight. They don't have to be totally relaxed, just a little softer to get in this position. Low belly, ribs, arms out in front of you. We'll take spine stretch, one vertebra at a time. Rolling back up, stacking your vertebra back up. We'll take this 3 more times. And so you've got these 24 vertebrae. And the image here is that each vertebra does a 1/24th of this movement, right? Each vertebra moves. I have 24 little movements I'm making. And same as I come up, one vertebra, next one stacks, next one stacks. Maybe you feel 3 stack and then one at a time, and then 3 stack again and one at a time. That's okay. It's mostly about observing it and allowing for the opportunity that they'll kind of move a little more each time. Last one. Makes me go a little slower when I try to take 1/24th, 2/24ths, 3/24ths, 4/24ths. I might be causing trauma by talking about all these fractions for people, but maybe you like fractions. I like fractions, all right. And then relaxing. It feels good, right? I think it feels pretty good when I actually just get a little more movement in each vertebra. Just kind of opens things up. I think they're meant to get a lot of movement. So let's do that same thing to come up to standing. So over onto your hands and feet. Little stretch in your legs, right? So I don't necessarily want to push my hamstrings to a point where they're like screaming a lot, right? Like hold that rubber band super tight. I just want to find like some ease, some length. Let them spread apart. They can stretch. I just don't want them to get like super gripped. I'm not going to push them to a place where they feel really like reactive to what I'm doing. And then once I find that place, I'm going to let my spine really relax. Maybe that can soften. My chest can soften just a little more towards my thighs. The head creates a little bit of traction on my neck if I let my head release and my neck relax. The weight of my head actually opens some space, decompresses the vertebra. And then we're going to use that to find one vertebra at a time. So we're going to add a few more joints in. First, knees and ankles release a little bit, and pelvis drops down a little bit. Then our first movement is really at the hip joint. And let the pelvis come back into place. That starts to roll me up. And once I feel like my pelvis is in place, now I'm getting into the spine, the lowest vertebra, working on stacking them up. I really have to think about my low ribs. They often don't go quite far enough back, so I really feel those. And through all the upper back vertebra. And then the neck, there's 7 vertebrae in the neck that we often just go poof and bring the head up. Can you just imagine a little bit of movement all through the neck? And all the way back up. Ruthie found a better spot, a less movable spot to hang out. Scott, I think it's his turn. We're going to bring him in.
Hi, everybody. Hello, Ruthie. Got to pay a visit to Ruthie Cat over here. So let's pick up where Collette left off and do some comprehensive whole body movement. So let's begin in standing. Let your arms hang comfortably. A little slower, deeper breathing. And then with the exhale, arms to the side up. Now let's stay standing. Inhale, arms down. With a little bit of spine movement here. Exhale, arms up right between your shoulder blades movement. Inhale, arms down, back to neutral spine. Exhale, thoracic extension. Inhale, back to normal neutral spine. Let's do 2 more like that. Exhale. Inhale. Last one. All right, then step your feet wide apart. Turn both your legs out a bit. And then exhale, bend. Ankles, hips, knees contribute. Inhale up. Up and down like this. So here, little if any spine involvement. But a really nice way to mobilize your ankles. Stimulate the flow of synovial fluid, lubricating fluid in your knees. Collette talked about juicy hamstrings. So this movement can help create juicy hip sockets. Literally stimulate that flow of lubricating synovial fluid. So let's do a couple more. Juicy movements. Come on up. Step your feet back together. So now let's do, again, whole body movements. Big deep inhale, fill your back ribs. Exhale from those upper back ribs, articulate. Arms up, thoracic extension. Then remember the roll up. Inhale, mobilize your spine. Segment by segment by segment. And ending up with your fingertips on the floor, knees as bent as needed. Just like you did a little bit earlier, let your head hang. Then right between your shoulder blades, with the next exhale, reach the crown of your head forward. We'll pause here for a bit. A lot like what we did in standing when we were taking our arms overhead. And then from here, step your feet back to yoga pose, head down dog. And we'll take a few moments here quietly for you to find that just right challenge for your hamstrings. Just like you worked on earlier. And then with your next out breath, come down to your knees and route to your belly. And then hovering your nose and chin up off the floor, elongate your spine by reaching the crown of your head forward and by stretching your toes back. So right between your shoulder blades, remember what we did in standing? With the next exhale, generate thoracic extension. Lifting your head a bit, lifting your chest a bit. Few breaths here. And then come on down. Push up to hands and knees. And then back to head down dog. And again, we'll spend a few breaths here. Find that just right challenge in your hamstring. Little light tug, but not excessively aggressive stretch. And with the exhale, step forward, thoracic extension. Inhale, fold. And exhale, just like you did on the floor, mobilize your spine, segment by segment, piece by piece. Arms up, chin up, arms down. Exhale, arms up. Inhale, fold. Exhale, gorilla. Inhale, step back. And come on down to your belly. Cultivate length in your spine. And then now a little bit different than what we did previously. Float your hands up. Reach your arms back. And this time not only lift your head and your upper chest, but also your legs. A few breaths here in locust. And then come on down. Replace your hands by your armpits. Breast to hands and knees. And back to downward dog. Few breaths here. And then with the next out breath, step your feet forward. Thoracic extension. Inhale, fold. Mobilize your spine. Use the exhale to facilitate. Back to standing. All right. That's been a nice, slow approach to the sun salutation. So now what we're going to do is we're going to flip the breathing around and go a little bit faster. So now exhale. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, step back. Exhale down to your belly. Inhale to locust. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale back. Inhale forward. Exhale, fold. And now all the way up. Now use an inhale. Come all the way up. Exhale, arms down. Few breaths here. And then step your feet wide apart. Turn your left foot in and then your right foot out. Now let's do the one-legged sumo. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Couple more. The next time knee in the bent position, pause there. Then with the next exhale, tip your hips. Take your spine from the vertical to the diagonal. Keep going. Keep going. Catch your shin with your hand. End up with your spine more or less horizontal. And then keeping your spine, including your neck and head, more or less horizontal. And then slowly straighten that front knee and find that just right challenge in your hamstring. And right there, that's about it in my body. Let's take a few breaths here. And then rise up with the in-breath. And turn back to the front. Second side. Turn your right foot in, your left foot out. Match movement to breath. Out breath, bend. In breath, straighten. One-legged sumo. The next time knee in the bent position, let's pause there. So feel how your spine is straight up and down now in the vertical axis. Now tip your hips to go from the vertical to the horizontal. So sometimes we do hand to knee, we're going to bypass that. Sometimes we go elbow to knee, we're going to bypass that. We're going to end up hand to shin. So spine, neck, and head pretty much horizontal. And slowly, slowly straighter front leg. We're not looking to straighten that front leg as a destination. And a quality of curiosity, find that place where you're just starting to say hello to your hamstring. And then we're going to pause there for a spell. And then come on up with the in-breath. Turn back to the front. And then step your feet together. 3 slower, deeper breaths. Then a sun salutation. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold it. Inhale, gorilla. Exhale, back. Couple breaths here. And then come on down to your knees into sitting. Now let's take a handful of seated postures. So to begin, knees bent, feet flat upon the floor. Catching your knees with either your hands or your elbows. And then project your 2 sitting bones downward to lift up through the crown of your head. A lot of times when people think about lifting their head, they tense their neck up. Let your head wobble a bit to remind your neck to release. So it's not neck holding your head up. It's the rooting down that holds your head up. Neck soft and relaxed. So see if you can continue that rooted downward. As you join your soles, and either have your hands forward to catch your feet to help facilitate sitting upright, or if you prefer, have your hands back. So either way, one or the other. Root down to release your neck to sit tall. And take your knees away from each other. Left knee to the left wall. Right knee to the right wall. Steady breathing. And bring your knees up. Back to our starting point. Down, rootedness creates up, liftedness. Is liftedness a word? I'm going to run with the assumption that liftedness is a word. Maintain your liftedness as you take your left foot forward. Right foot could stay, or if it's comfortable, you can bring that right foot up and over. And then twist to your right. Now, I don't know about you, but the bent leg, I feel that sitting bone tends to hike up. So bent leg, root that sitting bone down, maintain that liftedness, steady breathing. And then come on back to the front, back to your starting point. Down creates up. Then take your right foot forward. Left foot can either stay or come up and over. And now twisting to the other side. Sure enough, this side too, bent knee, that leg. Feeling that sitting bone hiking up. So root that sitting bone down to lift up. Steady breathing. And then coming back to the front. Back to the reset position. And then taking both feet in front of you. Remember a little bit earlier how Collette was talking about, depending on your hamstrings, knees could be a little bit bent or all the way straight, or I think she used the term split the difference, halfway in between. So what we're looking for is rooting down to cultivate the liftedness. And then whatever amount you want to straighten or bend your knees to facilitate that. Now, just like we did in the sun salutation. Big deep inhale. Exhale, thoracic extension, arms up. Inhale, folding forward. The hands maybe come to your knees, maybe your shins, maybe even your ankles. Steady breathing. And then with the exhale, roll your spine up. Remember how you did that a little bit earlier. Lower back, upper back, neck. Back to liftedness. All right, now we're going to converge two different streams. Keep your left leg forward. Bring your right leg in. Now we're going to switch up the breathing to exhale. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward. I remember way back in the day, yoga, we used to imply that there's some more moral correctitude to make sure the front leg was straight. So glad we got over that. So whether knee all the way straight or a little bit bent or somewhere in between. Couple more breaths. And then inhale, come on up. And then take both feet forward. Down creates up. Hello, liftedness. Now take your left leg, draw it in. Exhale. Inhale up. Exhale forward. Steady breathing. So there's hip flexion and also spinal flexion. So way back in the day with yoga, we would oftentimes cue that the spine shouldn't bend much of it all. All the bending comes from the hip. A lot of people ended up with really overstretched hamstrings. So find that little bit of just right hamstring stretch. Mobilize your spine in a beneficial, healthy way. And then Shortly, we're going to roll up and use the rolling up as a way to mobilize your spine, segment by segment, almost like you're creating a stack of coins and culminating in liftedness. Then both feet forward, with your knees straight or a little bit bent. Inhale up, exhale forward. 2 breaths. And then roll up, stack your coins, your spinal segments one atop the other. All right, now crossing your legs. Legs crossed, fold a little bit from your hips, touch the stretch, don't bang too hard into the stretch. Then mobilize your spine. We've now done that a few different times, different ways. And a few breaths here. Mobilize your spine to come on up into liftedness. Then cross your legs the other way. So fold from your hips, touch the resistance. That's enough. Mobilize your spine, lumbar flexion, thoracic flexion, cervical flexion. Steady, rhythmic breathing. And then come on up, mobilize your spine. And let go of any kind of breathing. Keep breathing, of course. But any technique, depth, pace, let it go. And we'll take a few moments to simply sit here. Because there are quite a number of meditative techniques that suggest that just simply sitting upright, feeling what you feel, thoughts free to come and go, is the most effective form of meditation. In its simplicity, it's sometimes called non-meditation. Alrighty. So maybe you want to non-meditate a little bit longer, but I want to be cognizant of our time here together. So thank you so much for your time and for your attention. And Collette and I, next time we see you, we'll be filming from one of our favorite places, a beautiful sunshiny deck overlooking the San Luis Valley in southern Colorado. So any comments, questions in the chat today? Doesn't look like it. Really great to be with you all, and let's do this again really, really soon. Bye-bye.